you told me to tune in, right? Because we have how do you pronounce that name? Is it Kemsudanov?
Samsudinov, just call him Baki.
Versus Doumbe.
Yeah, Doumbe versus Baki. Look, this event from PFL, by the way, in Europe, in France, fantastic. Up until this point, the ending was kind of a shit show, and we'll talk about it obviously. But the event itself was pretty fucking awesome leading up to this. Really good crowd, great production. The fights were delivering. It was fun. It was very fun. And then you get to the main event, and Doumbe's a star. He's a star, dude. His walkout is fucking awesome. He's taking his time. The crowd's crazy for him. All the lights come out for his walkout.
Crowd was electric.
Kickboxing champion, fantastic striker. He comes to the UFC. The UFC, they're gonna have him in France. France is like, no, you can't match him up with this guy because he was like 0-3 or something like that, or 3-0 in MMA as a professional. It's like, it's so new in France that they just made it legal that they're like, he doesn't have any MMA experience. You can't match him up with these guys. They're like, look, the commissions are looking out for stuff like that, and it's like, Glory champion, like, can you take that into consideration? And France was like, no. So then they took him off the card, and then there was some weird drama with him in the UFC trying to get the next fight, and he was like, I'm done dealing with these guys. They also, I think, were trying to get him to fight for like $25K, which is just like, dude, he's a Glory champion. What are you doing? Show some respect. Did Alex make $25K in his first fight? I doubt it. So Doumbe, he goes over, he fights for PFL. The first fight, he walks out with a mattress. He walks out in the walkout. He brings a mattress out. He's like, yeah, I'm going to knock this guy out. He's going to need this. And then he goes out there and he knocks him out within the first like 10 seconds. And the crowd's crazy. He's blowing up. His YouTube videos get like 2 million views. He's a mega star. We just don't talk about him here in the States. So going into this, and then he's like, I want to fight a wrestler. I want to fight a grappler. So he calls out Baki, who's a very interesting prospect in his own right. Another guy that everybody said the UFC missed signing. And the fact that he called him out is like, dude, don't you want to fight strikers? Like, why do you want to fight a grappler? It was very cool to see him go after this is a tough fight. This is a very good fight. And that's the history of the fight, at least. Now we can get into the actual fight.
About I just want to preface that. The history and how it is that this fight became so popular, or
and
caused so many people to be interested in it.
Yeah, and immediately
with the fight itself. Yeah. Okay, perfect. You're going right into it.
Yeah, immediately he throws a low kick, and you're like, that's a good low kick, but you're fighting a grappler, and immediately Baki takes him down. You're like, fuck. You probably don't low kick. But Doumbe works to butterfly guards, elevates the hips, gets up. Really cool get-ups from Doumbe in that first round, because you could tell, obviously, Baki's like, I'm going to take this guy down.
Yeah.
And he was, but Doumbe was looking good off his back, getting back up, defending takedowns, getting the butterfly hook. It was cool to see this guy's taking this very seriously, and he's completing his game. He's not just here to get some highlight reel knockouts and then move on. Very cool. Second round, he starts working that jab. And he's timing the shots, and he's hitting them on the shots. And you're like, ooh, this is cool. It was kind of like a tale of two fights, right? That left hook is money. The lead hand and Doumbe, he leans forward heavy. And he does that not just against grapplers, by the way. He does that in kickboxing because he's a counter striker. So he leans forward and he wants you to throw something. And then he'll dip and then catch you with something, knock you out. And he's very good at it. But it also helps against a grappler, right? Because you're lower enough, you can get your arms down to get the underhooks or something like that, sprawl. What did you think? This is your first time watching Doumbe?
First time watching Doumbe. For me, I think I need to go through and watch a couple of other fights. He looked impressive. You could tell that he has really crisp striking. But I also knew, like you had said, kickboxing champion, right? That's what he's really known for. So I was like, we'll see how he handles these takedowns.
Yeah.
Got up really quickly. He showed a lot of urgency to get up, which was awesome.
Well, one thing to consider too, I don't like this about the PFL, 3-round fight.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
But then we get to the end, right? And it's super weird. It's starting off the third round. He's walking up. He's not really engaging. And then you could see that he says something to Baki, and then he looks at
Mark
um,
Goddard
Mark Goddard, and
points
Mark's
at his
like, "Nah,
foot.
fight." Yeah, points at his
He's like,
foot.
my foot.
Mark's like, "Fight."
Yeah.
Like, you got to fight. And he goes, okay. So he sets up again, not engaging. Baki's like
Mhm.
going forward, and you could see again, they have something said between each other again. So
Yeah. And
Baki
then,
like looks over at Goddard and points.
which is this moment.
Yeah. And then again, said points down at his foot
Yeah. And Mark
and looks
Goddard
at
says,
Goddard, and
no
Goddard's
more.
like, it's over.
Yeah.
No
And you're
muss.
like, what? You're like, what is happening? And this is his first loss. And it's like,
Yeah.
what's happening? And it's frantic. You're like, what even happened? Is it a broken toe? What's going on? They give a close up, graphic content. If you don't like feet, I know some people are real weird about feet. They bring Big John in for some reason because they brought him over from Bellator. And there's glass in his big toe. And
Is that glass or splinter?
it came out, it was glass. It was a piece of glass. And everybody's saying, and we might disagree here, everybody's saying, I've seen people fight through way more and way worse. John Jones
Yes.
broke his toe against Chael Sonnen.
Yes.
Sean O'Malley potentially broke his foot, broke his hand against Cheeto Vera. He was walking around with a boot, all this stuff. We've seen people fight through worse, for sure. But Doumbe, I don't think he wasn't trying not to fight. If you're stepping each time and there's like glass in your foot, it's not crazy, in my opinion, to be like, hey, can we take a second to get glass out of my foot? This isn't something
I don't
from the
think he
fight.
knew it was glass at that point. Do you think he knew it was glass until he actually stepped
I
off to
don't
the side?
I don't think he knew it was glass, but it's still not something from the fight. It's not. I think you probably know that it's not something from the fight, and it's not crazy to be like, in my opinion, hey, can we take a second to get this out of my foot? There's something foreign from in my foot right now. Can we get this out? And then it, you can't stop the fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of different aspects of this. First off, you can't stop the fight. It's not crazy to try because most of the times people do stop the fight and it's okay. And they're like, oh, let me see. Oh, you got eye poked? Okay, I didn't see it, but we'll give you anyways. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
The other thing is Baki called off the fight the second time. It wasn't Doumbe that looked at Mark Goddard and was like, can we stop? He didn't ask twice. It was Baki that stopped it. Mark looked at Doumbe. Doumbe goes, my foot. And he's like, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? That's not necessarily Doumbe stopping it the second time. It was Baki. And you could say, but they did talk right before Baki looked over at Mark Goddard. They talked again.
Yes.
But
And that's
Doumbe,
what caused Baki to look over and say, like, hey.
correct. But that's also not on Doumbe. They can talk. And if Baki is like, he's not engaging, and he's like, and Doumbe's like, yeah, there's something with my fucking foot. And then that's also not calling for the fight to be stopped or ended or paused or anything. That's just two fighters talking about a little injury. Mark Goddard's perspective, this guy just asked for a timeout. I think maybe he broke his toe. That could be from a kick, could be from a sprawl, could be from whatever. You don't get to call timeout for that. And then it stops again. He's like, no, you don't get to. I think everybody made the right call here. It's just one of those unfortunate situations where the rules don't really allow for this to be looked into. The real issue, and I think the only thing wrong with anything that happened here, is why the fuck is there glass on the mat in an MMA event? You can't have that. That's the worst part of all of this.
Yeah, and this is where I'm in a toss up, right?
Yeah.
I'm in a toss up because you're absolutely right. Goddard made the right call.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people hating on Goddard, but on his end, he doesn't know there's glass.
No, he
But
thinks he probably sprained his toe or broke his toe or something.
The commission at this point, the French Athletic Commission, the FAC, I don't know if that's really what they're called, but should make the decision to call this a no contest.
Yeah, this should not be a loss, in my opinion.
This should be a no contest because where the heck did he get glass from?
Yeah, and it's like, why they stopped the fight at a clean break? It wasn't. There was no action. As soon as they stopped it, Mark Goddard called it off. I get it. When a ref calls off a fight, it's over. But that's only because that's what the rule is. Why can't we stop this and then think the fight is over, and then them say, no, there's glass in my foot, and they're like, oh shit, okay, let's take the glass out, and then we'll just restart because it was a clean break. Like,
And then
why
Doumbe
can't we
didn't
just
know it
go
was
back?
glass at that point. He just says there's something in my toe.
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't know.
But it's like,
It's just a weird situation all around.
I get it, you can't stop the action and then restart the fight, but we do for fouls, and we probably should for foreign objects too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But they
it's
didn't know it
just
was
one
a
of
foreign
those.
object.
True, but it's like it would have taken 5 seconds to check. And I'm not saying this is on Mark Goddard. This is Mark Goddard operated with the rules. That's what he's supposed to do. But like in a case like this, you stop the fight, and as soon as you walk over and you're like, dude, yeah, we have to stop the fight. And he's like, no, there's something in my foot. Can we take it out of my foot and keep going? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you know. But it's
Yeah.
like because I waved my arms, it's now over. That's kind of lame. It's just I don't know. It's one of those things that's just fucking crazy that it even happened.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was it for PFL. Doombe's big fight
First
didn't end the
loss.
way that everybody wanted it to. Yeah. And we'll see when he fights again, I guess.
Yeah, maybe they run it back, right? I don't know. Because I liked it. It was a fun fight up until then. It was a fun event. It just really sucks that that's how it capped off. And it's like, man, Bellator just or PFL now, PFL, Bellator, same thing, but they just
BFL?
can't catch a break, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
PFLator, they just cannot catch a break, man. It's crazy.